Hi, I'm 30 and my boyfriend of over a year has always been supportive and amazing. The past few months, he has been making comments about things I don't do, not messaging him enough or being awkward around his 3-hour-old daughter. I'm not a natural with kids, but I've been really trying the past year. Or he gets upset if I don't message him good morning or I love you when I'm at work. He said I didn't make our anniversary special enough, or I didn't tell him he looked nice in his suit for it. They were little comments here and there at first, but they have become more frequent over time, and he hasn't been as affectionate. The other night, he sat down with me for 40 minutes and told me all the things he wished were different. He told me what he finds attractive is a woman embracing his kid, and when he saw me act awkward when I hugged his daughter, and it turned him off. He said all these lavish things to me the first 7-9 months. He wanted to get engaged at a year. He planned to do it on our big trip in Ireland. He never did. It's been 2 months since, and I've tried asking about it or making subtle jokes, and he said I was pushy and off-putting. He also wanted to move in with me for months, and he finally said he wouldn't propose till we lived together. I let him move in with his child, reassembled my entire house, changed everything, and now he doesn't even want to discuss marriage or kids. Part of me feels like he dangled the engagement in front of me so I'd let him move in. He also told me he wanted someone who was more like him and liked techno music and could stay out late doing that with him. The one concert, I couldn't make it past 2 a.m., and the last one I flew across country for him because he wanted to see it. I feel like he's slowly trying to mold me into this person he wants. He's always been ambitious and wants the best. His standards are high. He's very sincere and enduring with his comments, and they're followed by hugs and reassurance after. But they are becoming more common, and I often find myself feeling like I'm not enough. It makes me feel badly, like I'm selfish or a terrible girlfriend. He used to be so affectionate towards me just the way I was, and now it's not enough. Is he being manipulative? And am I blinded by his sincerity? Trumpets Galore commented, OP, I'm going to be very blunt. First of all, way too many stories on this sub start off with my partner is perfect in every way, except for the plethora of red flags and deal breakers that will upset any of you reading this. You claim from the get-go that he's supportive and amazing, but I fail to see anything supportive or amazing about him. Second of all, he's talking about the millions of things he wants you to do differently, but calls you off-putting and pushy when you ask him to do one thing for you. And when you do something he wants you to do, it's done awkwardly. Also, him reassuring you with affection after making these comments is love bombing. And he does that to keep you in the relationship. If he was 100% abusive, you'd obviously not stay with him, which is why no successful abuser manipulator is ever 100% that way. They keep you in with the good parts of them. OP, he's never going to think that you're good enough for him. You can change all you want, but once all of it is done, the next thing he'll complain about is how you're no longer the person he fell in love with, if anyone can even call it that. Cater responded, to me, it sounds like he promised you the world and made you feel special until his goal was reached, locking you down and moving in. And now he'll just keep moving the goalposts of your goal, marriage and kids. He's manipulating you. Every goal you reach, he'll just find another thing you do wrong and need to fix first. It allows him to never have to commit, with the added bonus of making you feel terrible about yourself, so you won't be strong enough to leave. I don't see this getting better for you. Yes, you should tell him, since I'm obviously not the person you thought I was, and I'm so off-putting, I think we need to go our separate ways. I was good enough for you until you got moved into my house, and now there are things I need to change. The only thing I need to change is my living arrangement. You have 30 days, CK about tenant rights in your state, to pack up and go. Zhou Yu said, also commented, The Spider and the Fly, 1829. Will you walk into my parlor? Said the Spider to the Fly. 'Tis the prettiest little parlor that ever you did spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair, and I have many curious things to show when you are there. Oh, no, no, said the little Fly. To ask me is in vain, for who goes up your winding stair can ne'er come down again. I'm sure you must be weary, dear, with soaring up so high. Will you rest upon my little bed, said the Spider to the Fly. There are pretty curtains drawn around, the sheets are fine and thin, and if you like to rest a while, I'll snugly tuck you in. Oh, no, no, said the little Fly, for I've often heard it said, they never, never wake again who sleep upon your bed. Said the cunning Spider to the Fly, Dear friend, what can I do to prove the warm affection I've always felt for you? I have within my pantry good store of all that's nice. I'm sure you're very welcome. Will you please to take a slice? Oh, no, no, said the little Fly. Kind sir, that cannot be. I've heard what's in your pantry, and I do not wish to see. Sweet creature, said the Spider, you're witty and you're wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings. How brilliant are your eyes. I've a little looking glass upon my parlor shelf. If you'll step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself. I thank you, gentle sir, she said, for what you're pleased to say, and bidding you good morning now, I'll call another day. The Spider turned him round about and went into his den, for well he knew the silly Fly would soon come back again. So he wove a subtle web in a little corner sly, and set his table ready to dine upon the Fly. Then he came out to his door again, and merrily did sing, Come hither, hither, pretty Fly, with the pearl and silver wing. Your robes are green and purple, there's a crest upon your head. Your eyes are like the diamond bright, but mine are dull as lead. Alas, alas, how very soon this silly little Fly, hearing his wily, flattering words, came slowly flitting by. With buzzing wings she hung aloft, then near and nearer drew, thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head, poor foolish thing. At last up jumped the cunning Spider, and fiercely held her fast. He dragged her up his winding stair, into his dismal den, within his little parlor, but she ne'er came out again. And now, dear little children, who may this story read, to idle, silly, flattering words, I pray you ne'er give heed unto an evil counselor, close heart and ear and eye, and take a lesson from this tale of the Spider and the Fly. Oh, responded, I'm going to get shit for this, but I don't care. I, 40F, really relate to your BF here. If he's doing things the way you say, sitting you down, having real, relevant conversations, and opening up about what's bothering him, and you're meeting it with, why are you trying to change me? I think you need to look in the mirror. It sounds like he's taking time to explain to you in a loving manner the support he needs from you, then giving a hug and more support to you. Then you shrug it off. Have you really been trying like you say? It always starts off small, sending a good morning text, acknowledging his existence, bonding with his child. He's blatantly told you when you don't do these very simple tasks, he doesn't feel seen. Are you choosing to not do them? All I asked my ex to do was acknowledge me when I got home. I wanted him to get off his ass from watching TV and come hug me and ask me about my day. Apparently, that was too much. He would also tell me he was trying, but couldn't perform the smallest task to acknowledge my existence. I have no doubt the comments on music and concerts is an effort on his side to try to find something to bond over. If you can't do those things, please work harder to find something for the two of you that you both like. Again, I feel like your BF is my mirror here, grasping at anything to try to bond you two. As far as dangling the engagement, I don't know what's in his head, but again, maybe he moved in thinking it would bring us closer, and you've done nothing to quell his worries about how he needs to feel and receive love. My relationship ended BC. He couldn't do the simplest tasks I needed to feel love from him. He could not love me the way I needed to be loved. Maybe you guys are there, IDK. Highly recommend listening to the most recent podcast, Doe C with Esther Perel on relationships and the languages you're each speaking. Good luck!